this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your November forecast. And Uranus in Aries is in a mood this month. And it's also a big player in a yod that I talk about in my November 6th readings, and it goes on until about the 14th. Because all of the energy that's in this yod is pointing up to Uranus and Aries. So you're a big central focus this month about asking you some pretty tough questions about what you want in life. Now, we start out the month with Venus in Virgo aligning with Mars in Virgo in the 8th house, and this is happening on the 2nd. And your ruler is in a mood. In fact, both of your rulers have something to say about this aspect in your life. And so Uranus in Aries is going to be squaring off with Pluto in Capricorn, and then Saturn in Sagittarius is going to be squaring off with Neptune and Pisces. So what this suggests to me is that you need to be very realistic about a decision that you are making. And I know that you're holding back. And I know that you are hopeful and you're trying to come up with different ways to resolve this situation. But I want to say that this situation is definitely challenging you to keep a good perspective on the way that you feel about moving forward in the situation. So the challenge will lie with this. Is this healthy for you? Yes, you're solid. Yes, you're aligned. And yes, there's enough, you have enough heart and emotion connected with this, but there has been a lot of disappointment in the past. And so I think when you're moving forward in this, and it could be a relationship, it could mean something to do with some routines, some mental well-being routines, some health routines, some routines that maybe a partner isn't exactly aligned with when in their lives, and you're trying to help them through it. So you're trying to help them transform their situation, and it is almost suppressing your ability to move forward as well. So don't be too helpful. I want you to really be focusing on yourself as well, because that can knock your balance off. Then on the 8th, Venus moves into Libra. This is happening in your 9th house. And so we're caught in that yod. The yod starts up on the 6th. And this yod is asking you a very specific question. It'll be asking everybody this question, but it's going to be asking you a question because all this energy points right up to you. And it's asking you, if you see this outcome, right? You really want this outcome. How do you unlock its potential? You know, how do you get it to be what you want it to be without losing part of yourself during the process? And that is why you could feel quincunxy in this energy, because when Venus moves into Libra on the 8th in your 9th house, I think you're going to be so concerned with broadening somebody else's perspective on health and mental well-being and partnerships. And at some point that could knock you off of alignment, and because you're so focused on somebody else. So just be very wary of doing that. You also need a healthy support system. You also need to be taking care of yourself at this time. On the 11th, we have a new moon in Scorpio. This is going to be happening in your 10th house. And this new moon for you is agitated. You're one of the few signs that I can deeply say that really has a lesson to learn from this new moon. When we start new beginnings, we start them in a hopeful status, and we have the best intention in mind. But I want to say that maybe the intent of this new beginning that you're trying to have, you've got to look at where the desire is coming from. Is it ego? Is ego pushing this desire? And I say this because Uranus in Aries is going to quincunx Jupiter. It's going to quin in Virgo. It's going to quincunx Mercury in Scorpio. It's going to quincunx the whole new moon. It's going to square off with Pluto. And then Saturn is going to square off with Neptune and Pisces. So are you being realistic about what you're expecting from this situation? If you look at it, if you were looking at it from either karmically from past relationships that you've had in the past and what were their outcomes, or if you're looking at some past-based behaviors, have they ever followed through? Are they going to make your outcome unstable? And again, I feel like we're just on this wave of like up and down and up and down. And your new beginning needs to be on planting both feet on the ground and making a really super solid decision about moving forward in your hopes and your dreams and your aspirations, your wants, your desires, your life path destiny, right? It's a big energy when we have new beginnings like this. I want to say that I just want you to be really practical in your expectation of it. New beginning is a journey. It could be a journey, walking a journey with somebody and aligning yourself with what they're going through and accepting the fact that they have these vices that you don't have and that you need to help them deal with. And it's a really hard reading for me because when I look at Uranus in here, conjuncting or in quincunx with Jupiter in Virgo, and then you have all this energy in here asking you these tough questions on this event. I want you to make sure that your ruler, you're very, very practical in what you're moving forward with. On the 12th, we have Mars moves into Libra in the 9th house. This is a good energy. This is a good feeling. Uranus is, yes, squaring off of Pluto and Capricorn. So we're still dealing with foundation versus ego versus what we want and how we're getting outcomes and goals. And we're weighing all that out through some opposition. But then we have Saturn in Sagittarius conjuncting the moon in Sagittarius. And it is sextiling Venus in Libra and sextiling Mars in Libra. So to me, this suggests that you're incredibly hopeful about a really good outcome. I mean, you know that there's work to do. You have the strength and the endurance. Yes, at times it takes the toll. And yes, you have some ego conflicts with this situation, but you really are not taking your eye off of the outcome that you want. And you're really, really determined to create stability out of instability in a relationship. And so you're just trying to bring balance to that passionate pursuit. Then on the 16th, you have your sun aligns with Mercury in the 10th house. Again, Uranus is going to be opposing Venus in this event and squaring off with the moon in Capricorn. And so when the sun aligns with Mercury, and this is in Scorpio, happening in your 10th house, this is about making you highly intuitively aware of how you want to proceed forward. I say that you're getting messages. You're completely aligned with, it's like, if somebody does something wrong, you know it. You will feel it deeply, and you will know how to guide it because you are listening to the messages that you're getting, and you're removing emotion enough from them to stabilize the situation. So I see it as being very progressive, still moving forward. Still, look, I mean, even when you have challenge, you still have lovely sextiles to lift all this energy up and really push it forward in And I want to say that heart is deeply tied into this, and partnering and goals with that. And that love really does conquer all in the end. And so if you're feeling like you're going to stick by this come hell or high water, no matter what the challenge is, then I say you keep going, and you keep keeping your eye on the ball, and enjoy the journey. On the 18th, then finally you catch a break, and the Neptune goes direct. And this is a beautiful energy, because when Neptune goes direct, it is actually conjunct Chiron in Pisces. This is lovely energy, absolutely beautiful, stunning energy. It's going to put the hope back in the situation. It's going to start healing some of these old wounds that you have. Past is not going to be something that you're going to be looking at anymore. You're going to be hopeful of an outcome and of the future. Even if you don't get what you want, I do believe deeply that you are going to grow and learn from this experience, and that you are going to understand what the whole purpose was. Then on the 24th, I apologize. Then on the 20th, Mercury moves into Sagittarius, and this is happening in your 11th house. At this time, Uranus in Aries is going to be squaring off with Pluto in Capricorn, quincunxing Jupiter in Jupiter, and it's going to be opposing Venus in Libra. So the good thing about it is when this is happening, Saturn in Sagittarius is going to be conjunct Mercury and the Sun in Scorpio. Mercury in Sagittarius and the Sun in Scorpio. So when this does happen, I think you're going to know how to proceed based on intuition. And if something comes up that challenges many of these areas where you have to start thinking outside of the box, and you may have to take a different route, and you may have to come up with a new creative concept of how to take care of this issue, you're willing to dive into your bag of tricks and keep on going, and keep trying to change this outcome, because it's something that you deeply want, and that you've really aligned yourself with. And when you lock and load on something, when you want something, you deeply desire it. Then on the 23rd, the Sun moves into Sagittarius. This is happening in the 11th house. Uranus is still in the mood, and Saturn is still working together. So when the Sun moves into Sagittarius in the 11th house, this is about feeling aligned with what you want as an outcome, and your hopes, your dreams, and your wishes. And this is about still trying. You're still trying. It's so beautiful how hard you're working to make something generate. When the Sun moves into Sagittarius and Mercury is in Sagittarius, this is about big ideas in these areas, new ways of thinking, out of the box thinking. This is about challenging belief systems. And so there is no trick that you're not going to try to get this to be what you want it to be. You have a very strong vision for an outcome. And I really want to say that although sometimes it takes a lot out of you to do this, you're not willing to yield to the situation. And you are determined that you are going to have stay optimistic about this, because there's got to be something that you can do to change the outcome. Then on the 24th, Mercury in Sagittarius aligns with Saturn in Sagittarius. This is your ruler. So Uranus in Aries is going to be opposing Mars, opposing Venus, and squaring off with Pluto. I like this. Opposition is healthy for you. It's challenging for you. It's stimulating for you. You like a good debate. You like a good fight. You like a good sparring match almost to keep you. You really get into this. So if somebody wants to take you on, you're not scared to take on the challenge whatsoever. And then when you have all this energy in Sagittarius energy, this is a lot of fire heating up within inside of you, a burning deep desire, and you're becoming much more clear on what you want as an outcome moving forward as the month is going on. Absolutely. All this stuff is stimulating you to make a decision coming up here on the 25th, which is the full moon. The full moon is going to be in Gemini. That's going to be in the 5th house. And so this is about love. This is about heart. This is about pleasure. This is about getting something out of all of this work. And it's an accumulative energy. So I really love that Saturn and Sagittarius is conjunct with Mercury and the Sun, and they're all sextiling Mars in Libra. This suggests that you're starting to balance out an outcome. And perhaps that outcome is changing. Perhaps you're willing to let somebody's imbalance be their own personal journey, and you get to stay at peace in yours. This person isn't going to rock your world or the situation. And I want to say that it's somebody who has your heart and is somebody that you're really hopeful about having a loving union with. And it's somebody that, honest to God, really does at times bring you much emotional fulfillment, and your heart is deeply attached to the situation. And so I really want to say that it's about, honestly, it's when the full moon comes, it's about sitting back and taking a look and seeing where you're at. If the cumulative energy is, I put all this work into it all this time, where am I at right now? And making a decision based on that, exactly where you're at, because that's very, very necessary to do with all this crazy energy. All in all, one of the things that's about an Aquarian energy, I would say that the average person, if I were talking about this with a Cancer, this would kick their ass. Like, this would not be good. This would be like the worst month ever. This is horrible. Challenge. You're not into all of that. And it would be very taxing, and I would be very sad to give you this message. Aquarians are very different. They are a breed all on their own. And anytime they're given a challenge, they want to see it through. They want to follow it through. They want to overcome it. Often, what they want, I don't even know if they want so bad as they want the outcome, because they can't take their eye off the ball once they fixate on it. And I think what lies in all of this is for the first part of the month, we have a lot of water-based energy, and we're really aligned with Chiron, and it's really healing old wounds, and it could be healing expectations of maybe somebody that can't give you what you want. So you're adjusting to their world. I'm not saying that you don't at times feel it's frustrating, but I do believe that for the most part, you are really optimistic about the outcome, and you just can't take your eye off the ball. Not yet. Not yet. You're not ready. And a lot will be revealed this month, about yourself. I think this is a journey with yourself. I think this is a very good lesson in ego, and how you align your ego, and what do you need? I mean, if you're talking about your innermost desires, is it healthy? Where are you at? Are you healthy? Are you aligned with what you should be aligned with? Because if you're not, then you're doing things based on ego that are self-destructive, and you need to figure out if that's what your journey is all about. Is this path this month is about letting go of ego and doing what's best for yourself, not what you want to get because you can get it, because you just put enough effort into anything and you get whatever you want. It's a journey. I've been through this journey several times at different points in my life, and it's a hard journey. Now I'm able to remove ego and walk away from something. If it's meant to be, it will come to me, and I will. And and I will accept it lovingly, and I will understand the purpose, and I will look for the larger meaning in everything. I wasn't always this way. I was very, because I have a midheaven in Aquarius, and I have a ton of fire fixed energy, and I have a Mars in Leo and a Moon in Aries. So when I get fixated on something, I can't let it go, and ego used to drive me, but drive me crazy. I've literally been drove crazy by my ego. And so now that I have been released from ego and expectation of others, I now have a different I now have a different perspective, and it's now more about being at peace at all times and not going on every journey that everybody else needs me to go on to make them happy. I'm not interested. So this will be a journey for you. It could be a very wonderful journey filled with a redefinition of ego and seeing if you're aligned with your purpose and where you're at, and if you can transform a situation that you are really invested in. I wish you luck. Thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again next month.